Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to try and make it easier for you to be able to add more recipes and also to design this screen. Okay, right now, if you wanted to design this screen, you have to do everything inside here, which is okay, but what if you want a common design across all your different pages? That would be a bit troublesome. So we're going to make sure that everything has the same template and you pass in different information and it renders it in the same place. I hope that makes sense. Let's give it a shot. This might bring to mind the quiz app if you've done that with me. And in the quiz app, we started off by asking you to have your quiz questions and options all laid out one by one before we started to refactor the code. So refactoring means getting your code into a more organized manner that's easier to maintain without making any changes for the user. All right, so there's been no changes for the user, well, other than the fact that I changed my highlight color over here from red to purple. The red was just standing out too much. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start by creating a new detail view. All right, so I'm going to make a new file, new Swift file over here. I'm going to call it detail view. And just like before, when I made the credits view, I'm going to type VIEW and let it autocomplete. Nope, it didn't. Oh, there it is. Okay, autocomplete, press enter. And I'm going to type in detail view over here. Okay, so let's bring back our preview to switch over to the detail view, and let's have it just say text detail view here. Never mind the fact that my E is capitalized. Okay, so back inside my content view, I think I can close credits view for now. Back inside my content view, I'm going to have this summon detail view. All right, I'm just going to comment this out. We're going to need this for later on. And for this one, it's also going to go to detail view. Oops, I pressed the wrong keyboard shortcut. Again, if you want to see keyboard shortcuts, you can just hold down the command key. Okay, so now if I tap on this, it will bring us to the detail view, and so will this one. Okay, so this is now the same thing. Now let's set it up so that our detail view can take in some information. The way you do that is by setting up more variables over here. These do not actually need to be state variables because we're not going to change them on screen once we receive the data. So let's just ask for a couple of things. We're going to ask for the title, which is a string, and the description, which is also a string. All right, so we're going to pass over a bit of information. And when someone actually sends in this information, they will come in over here. Okay, so if you've done get started with code, you might recall a little bit about structs. All right, so detail view over here is a struct. It has two properties. It's got title and description. So when you say that a struct has two properties, that means every time you create a struct, you have to define what these properties are. So the way we fix this is by going down here, pressing open bracket. Well, no, don't even need to press open bracket. The autocomplete came up. So it says detail view, bracket, title, description, press enter. So title, we're just going to give a sample title over here, sample hot chocolate. And press tab to go over to the second placeholder and just put here sampling hot chocolate. Sounds like a great idea. Okay. And now we want to actually use this title and description inside here. This really might remind you of using functions back in the quiz app, right? When we wrote the functions in the quiz app, we had them take in arguments and then you used the arguments inside the function body. We're doing very much the same thing here, except with a struct. Okay, so as a challenge, you might want to go back to your quiz app if you did that and see if you can redo that as a struct. But for now, let's finish this up. I'm going to put this inside a VStack. And I'm going to have a text with the title and a text with the description. Okay, I'm also going to add to this VStack a navigation title of recipe detail. Okay, so that's going to show up at the top of the screen if this were inside a navigation stack. Okay, in the preview, it's not inside a navigation stack, but when we actually run the app, it will be. So let's go back to content view. So we look at the app preview. There's an error over here that prevents our code from running. So I'm going to say detail view, open bracket, and title. Okay, enter. The title is hot chocolate soup. Hot chocolate soup. Description. And for this, I'm just going to copy and paste my text from here. And paste it in. All right, now I can get rid of this line over here. Okay, so let's do the same thing for this detail view down here. So detail view, title, description. Title is hot chocolate ice cream. Let's go copy and paste. And this one for this text is going to be something that we just typed, but we don't want to type it again. So I'm just going to copy and paste it inside here. All right, so let's get rid of this. And for some reason, I lost the closing bracket, so I better put it back. Okay, so there you go. Now we have everything back in order. Our code runs again, and just give it some time to spin, and there you go. All right, so the navigation link remains the same, but now the detail view is what is created every time you tap on this. Okay, so there you go. Hot chocolate soup. This is a hearty concoction great for cold winter nights. Maybe you might want to style this page, right? The great thing about this is that now if you style this page, every change that you make will be propagated to other detail views that are summoned. So for this, maybe, oh, you know what? Let's do it as a list, right? Let's do it as a list. Okay, so we're gonna have this as a list, and we're going to give each of these a section, perhaps, right? This is a section. We're just gonna add a bit more information afterwards, right? But for now, let's do it this way, section. And just going to put it over here. Okay, and every section can have a title. So we're going to have this say title. All right, you can see over here, it says title. And down here, you can put a section, just put details. Okay, so you could imagine that if you wanted, you could actually have your recipe send over more data. And I think later on, we might want to send over a bit more data to try and make this a little bit more interactive. Okay, but for now, this is pretty good. We now have a generic detail view that can be used for hot chocolate soup and for hot chocolate ice cream. All right, this is great.